Hello there. It's October 25th, 2022. I'm Joe Weston, and we're here for our online global practice for reviving the global heart. Happens to be in the middle of a solar eclipse at the moment, so the energies are quite interesting on the planet. Always a good moment to revitalize and revive ourselves as we revive the global heart. And as you know, we gather with people around the world to hold community and to hold space for this vision of a world of lasting peace, as we say, weaving a golden thread of lasting peace throughout the world. And with this notion of us cultivating a deeper level of resilience and fierce compassion to step into our roles, if we choose to step into them as nurturers and protectors for ourselves, for others, regardless of how we label them as loved one, stranger, or adversary. And most importantly, what's becoming clearer and clearer is a commitment to nurture and protect the integrity of how we interact with one another and how we engage. And as you know, once in a while, we have a guest join us. And this week, we have a guest join us. And I'm really excited and honored to have a good friend of mine, Cliff Kayser, join us. He's here. He's the one who's been quiet as we've been chatting with each other. And I'll say a couple of things about Cliff, and then he can share more about himself. He is very instrumental throughout the world in teaching a methodology called polarity thinking, which I'm hoping he'll say something about in terms of how it is affecting us and our extreme polarization in the world. He's an incredible teacher and coach and consultant, and he has such a passion and conviction for this work and all of the work he does. He works internationally. He teaches at two universities, American University and George Mason. He's done a lot of other things I can give you as credits, but what touches me most about Cliff is his heart and his capacity for love for what he does and for engaging with people and seeking out the truth in existence. He actually did his own interpretation of the Tao Te Ching. And we connected with each other when we met in DC when I first arrived, both of us consultants and coaches, but we connected from our passion and practice of Tai Chi and martial arts, and very powerful man with a very soft quality that really exudes and helps his power to come forth. And he's also cultivated a beautiful space in the West Virginia called Kayser Ridge Retreat Center, which is his home and his passion, where we've stayed at and done many retreats at. And you can feel his heart in that, in creating this home for people who are seeking deeper levels of self-actualization. So I can go on and on about Cliff, but I'd like to just say that welcome. Good to have you.
Oh, what a warm introduction, Joe. Thank you so much. That really touched me, so I appreciate it.
Well, it's meant. So Cliff, tell us a little bit about yourself and how your work is engaging in the world and how that connects with this idea of reviving the global heart.
First of all, thank you for inviting me. I'm so curious about all of you and the work that you do. That might actually help me to focus my message a bit better. But let me share a couple things that, in the absence of some more detailed introductions and getting to know you all and your work a little better. I'll just share a couple things that I think might apply to all of you about me and my work, and that is, I was intrigued by this notion of yin and yang energy many years ago, and that's actually what led me to the Tao Te Ching. And it's a book, for those of you who aren't aware of it, that has 81 poems essentially in Chinese. And it's an ancient work. It's been translated more than any other book than the Bible. So, and it's quite ubiquitous on the planet in terms of influencing people's thoughts and how they think about our world and what we're faced with every day. And in looking at that work, I just got incredibly intrigued, and I also realized that the different interpretations I had seen out there seemed very different. Maybe some reasons because of the translation is difficult, you know, from Chinese to English. But they were also, you could just tell that people were taking different approaches to the work. So I did my own summary. And then also when I realized that the original was in poetry and I had not seen a version that was in poetic form in English, I decided to convert my summary into poems. So, it's been quite a long process. And it ended up influencing my work as an executive coach and as an organization development consultant in its own way. And then I had trouble articulating for others, like what I was doing and how around managing and leveraging these energies of yin yang energy. And then I met Dr. Barry Johnson, who's my colleague and friend, and he had been studying what he called polarities, which are interdependent pairs. And he had developed a process and a mapping process over a half a century. And I kind of stumbled across his work and I realized this is that. I mean, they were so aligned that I couldn't believe it. And it gave me the gift of being able to more clearly articulate what was influencing how I was working with my clients. And the more I delved into Barry Johnson's work around polarity thinking, the more I realized this is my work too. So I partnered with Barry, and I'm a partner at Polarity Partnerships, and I've been deepening and broadening my own exposure and learning to this incredible phenomenon of interdependent pairs ever since, and it's a learning every single day. So thank you, Joe, for giving me so much credit for for my subject matter expertise. I will share with all of you that I feel like I'm learning every day, every day, and I feel like sometimes I'm the worst at it. But it's in those moments I realize, oh, I'm just learning more. So anyway, thank you for allowing me to just share a little bit about my passions and yeah. So
so when you're at Kaiser Ridge, there's so many beautiful things of hummingbirds, and he has a passion for this gorgeous hummingbirds. There's a passion for hummingbirds and a lot of beautiful symbols, but he has a whole bunch of series of pillows with a big and sign on it. And do you want to say a little bit about that?
sure.
Yeah, the passion of their passion with and.
Yeah, and I'll try to do this in a way that doesn't bore you to tears. I know this is just a quick, kind of a quick and dirty orientation to this notion of polarities, but the easy way to think about this is that, and you all know this already. I'm preaching to the choir, as they say. You're immersed in this if you're doing this respectful confrontation work or fierce civility work. I mean, fierce and civil would be an example of a polarity. We need to be fierce, but fierce without civil becomes dysfunctional, and civil without fierce becomes dysfunctional. So there are two forms of dysfunction in this respectful confrontation. One is to tolerate abuse, and the other is to be abusive. So what we're trying to do in fierce civility is we're trying to leverage the benefits of the fierceness without being intolerant and oppressive. And we're also trying to be civil without being pushovers or accepting abuse. So if you look at fierce and civil as two uniquely beneficial dimensions of respectful confrontation, you see that they work as a pair. There's a dynamic between them that's very important, that both show up as an and, not as an or. Should I be fierce or civil? It's a false choice. You're not gonna achieve the goal of respectful confrontation if you're only fierce or only civil. And so it operates very much like inhale and exhale. You know, we get oxygen, but you know, if we stay there on the inhale pole for too long, we have too much carbon dioxide. We get rid of carbon dioxide, but we don't stay there for too long because we know we'll have a lack of oxygen. We go to get oxygen. So it's a flow. It's an interdependency in this infinity loop. This energy of yin yang between the two is central to the approach. And the problem that comes about that undermines our ability as human beings to leverage these tensions is when we put an or in between the two poles of the polarity. So you can't choose inhale as a solution to the tension between inhale and exhale any more than you can choose exhale as a solution to the tension. You need both. It's an and. And so, you know, not everything is an and. You know, we had to decide what day and time to show up today. These are either or choices. You know, I had to decide before I came over here, do I put on athletic socks or dress socks? You know, well, okay, I think I'll put on dress socks. That's an either or problem to solve, you know.
Fancy,
You
fancy.
know, what do I have for breakfast? Do I have oatmeal or do I have scrambled eggs? So we make either or choices all the time, and they're independent choices that don't depend on each other. If I have scrambled eggs, I don't have to have oatmeal, you know, the next day, you know. So they're, you know, independent choices are just independent choices. So we need either or thinking to get through our day, but we also need to be aware of these both and tensions that live out there in our world. And Joe has devoted his life to zeroing in on some very critical and important ones that relate to our ability to interact well together, to communicate, and to leverage these conflicts that are inevitably show up for us in our day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month. And I'm just such a fan of his work because by its very nature, it leverages a couple of absolutely critical polarities that live out there for all of us on the planet.
That's nice. So you can feel I can feel Cliff's passion. Can you feel Cliff's passion? He loves his work, and it is important work. So for the sake of time, can you just share a little bit? How do you think both and mentality or thinking can revive the global heart?
Well, Joe, I texted my sister this morning because I've been going through a difficult time personally in terms of finding my own heart around some of the tensions and some of the issues that are going on, particularly in the United States right now. And I said to her, I feel like I'm some charlatan showing up today for this session and then she texted back and she said, you're the perfect person for this session. Part of it is because she's aware that the two of us, have been dealing with some very difficult tensions within our own family about some of the major issues that are going on in our world, and how to hold that fierceness and how to hold that civility is a huge challenge. And that challenge shows up every minute every hour, every day, every week, every month, in different contexts and in different situations. And it takes a lot of energy to be present for those tensions. And I'll be the first to admit that I've done better on some days and minutes than I have on others. I feel increasingly, personally, I'm just sharing with all of you, and I feel almost choked up just saying this. Like, I feel like I haven't done a great job with some people recently, uh, and it's an opportunity to go back and share with them about what I'm feeling and why that I didn't show up as my best self in a particular situation as a way to demonstrate heart. So this notion of justice and mercy, um, being true to ourselves, but also being gentle with ourselves, being true to others, being gentle with others. It's all kind of like a truth and reconciliation process every day. And so we're all in these tensions. There's nowhere we can go to hide. It's like gravity. It's all around us, acting on us, whether we believe in it or not. And I do think that I have a leg up in that I do understand a lot about these energies, and I'm learning about them every day in new and different ways. And so it offers me the opportunity to be humble and to be compassionate to myself as I try to be compassionate to others.
Thank you for sharing your heart, Cliff. Thank you. So very quickly, because you brought up the polarity of, and I know it's a big one for you at this time in the work you're doing with different organizations around reconciliation and healing and racial justice and all of this social justice. You talked about justice and mercy as two polarities. Can you
Two
talk
poles. Yeah,
about
two poles of the polarity. Yeah.
quickly about how you would frame that to bring that to both and?
Sure. Uh, we're all accountable, and we all make mistakes. So we all need some forgiveness from time to time, and we need to hold ourselves and others accountable. And so the tension between self and other is not a new one. Almost every faith community on the planet, has some version of the golden rule, or do unto others as you would have others, do unto you. Love your neighbor as yourself. All that. And so as you're in that tension between self and other, um, we're all fallible. We're all going to make mistakes. We're all going to need forgiveness. So that forgiveness is really important to receive. It's important to give. And then on the justice pole, we need to hold people accountable, and we need to hold ourselves accountable. Um, these are not easy, needles to thread. Just self and other, justice and mercy. Trying to stay in the upside of the justice, hold accountable myself and others, be forgiving to myself and others. That's not easy work. And trying to stay out of the downside of being oppressive to myself and others, and also perhaps being too passive or tolerating abuse on myself and others. These are all difficult energies to leverage as we confront our biggest challenges and opportunities. So I'd love to say that, polarity thinking will help you get rid of those tensions. It does not do that. It helps you to be aware of the dynamic between the two so that you can show up for them in ways that are going to be best for you and for others. And it requires head and heart. And head is not enough. Head and heart is polarity, to leverage. And I think it's possible that sometimes I get too much in my head because I do have a cognitive understanding about these maps, these polarity maps and how they work, but the map is not the territory. That's where you need the heart.
I love that. Thank you, Cliff. He speaks our language, huh? And what I don't know, for those of you who might not be watching, but just listening, every time Cliff moves his hands, he's doing an infinity symbol. It's really sweet. It's really sweet to see. All right, so let's take this information. Thank you, Cliff, and let's bring this into our practice. As always, sitting in a way where you're, we're doing this practice. This is a practice to cultivate on a regular basis resilience and fierce compassion. To be able to walk these theories and these ideas and these aspirations and these hopes into the world. So sitting in power sit, which is sitting in a way where your spine is straight without being rigid. Creating space. As you know, with this practice, we're cultivating our definition of resilience is presence, awareness, balance, and flow. So by sitting in this way, we create the opportunity for the most presence, awareness, balance, and flow to come through us. Relax your jaw, relax your shoulders, relax your belly. If it feels safe for you, close your eyes. If not, if you're not feeling safe, then just look down towards the ground, keeping your eyes slightly open. In this posture, bringing your attention to your core and your lower belly, approximately the width of 3 fingers below your navel and a third of the way into the body from the front of the body. Center of gravity, gut wisdom, personal power, awareness. From your center of awareness, become aware of your contact points, the parts of your body that are connecting with what you're sitting on and the ground. As you bring full awareness to those parts of the body, feeling the pressure that is created as gravity brings you down closer to the ground and the chair or the cushion. Feel that stability and allow that stability, that information of stability to flow up to your brain, giving you the proper information that what you're sitting on is stable, therefore allowing the body to relax and be held. With this awareness from your center, become aware of your physical body as we bring more presence and awareness to yourself in this moment, starting with your physical body. What could be some of the inherent polarities within yourself, perhaps? Warm and cold, tension, not tension. Tired, not tired. And imagine just allowing yourself to find peace in all of it, that all can be and all is welcome. And from your center, become aware of your emotional body. What emotions are you present to now? And as you, without judgment, just allow the emotions to be there as you identify them with specificity. Maybe seeing the inherent, seemingly polarities in the different feelings you're feeling. Can you feel some sadness and also excitement at the same time? And how can you allow that all to be, knowing that all is welcome? From your center, become aware of your thoughts, really feeling into the part of you that is aware, cultivating that part as you bring awareness to your thoughts, observing your thoughts. quality of your thoughts. And in this moment from this practice, that all thoughts are also welcome, regardless of how contradictory they may seem. From your center, maintaining that as the foundation of this practice, now bringing awareness to your heart, to the middle of your chest, where your heart power resides, compassion, understanding. Part of you, your heart that actually understands just the transcendent nature of dualism and polarity. And from your center and from your heart, becoming aware of that part of you that has connection with something larger than yourself. And from that part of you, become aware of in this moment what your connection is to something larger than yourself. For whatever that means for you. And just sitting in what might seem like an us them or a polarity, and just allowing as much as possible the both and to be. Allowing energy to flow and emotions to flow. With this awareness of yourself on all levels, from your center and from your heart, allow that to flow out, out towards the boundaries of your personal space in all directions, filling your personal space with this awareness, this presence, with your heart and with your personal power. And with this awareness of self from your center and from your heart, take a full breath in. Maintaining this connection with self in this present moment, now from your center and from your heart, keeping your eyes closed, become aware of your surroundings in all directions. Practice this idea of the fullness of your awareness, to be able to hold the awareness of yourself and your surroundings at the same time. In relationship. Imagine the infinity symbol, that sense of balance and flow, that idea of cultivating, even with your surroundings, relationship of balance and flow. With this awareness of self and surroundings, from your center and from your heart, take a full breath in. And building on this awareness of the present moment from your center and from your heart, with awareness of yourself and your surroundings, becoming aware of those in this meditation circle, those who are joining us in various parts of North America, Europe, perhaps maybe not joining us on the World Wide Web at this moment, but joining us in their hearts around the world. From your center and from your heart, with honor and respect, connecting with each and every one of those in this meditation circle. And honoring the power of the me and the enormous power of the we. The ik and the they. And the interdependence of the I and the we. And feel that in your heart. The joy, the miracle of that. or interdependence, interconnectedness. And with that honor, from your center and from your heart, take a full breath in. And with this awareness of self, surroundings, and those in this meditation circle, from your center and from your heart, become aware of all human beings, beginning with those human beings you would label loved ones. And as always, who arises in your heart? What faces do you see, or groups of people? How many can you hold in your heart at this moment? Allow them to just arise. And as you stand or sit face to face with them with honor and respect, acknowledging as well the I and the we. Both and the cosmic dance of that. Regardless of our thoughts and feelings about these others, the interconnectedness and interdependence. And from your center and from your heart, become aware of those human beings you would label stranger. And who arises in your heart, and what faces do you see? How many can you hold in your heart at this moment? It could be a neighbor, someone who drove past you on the road, someone you saw on the news, or groups of people. And as you stand face to face with them with honor and respect, from your heart acknowledging the I and the we, the interdependence, the interconnectedness, whether we're aware of it or not. Acknowledging also, as you focus on the stranger, how that in itself breaks the polarity of friend and foe. It offers it introduces a new pivot, which brings us back to flow as we focus on strangers. And from your center and from your heart, become aware of those human beings you would label adversary. Who arises in your heart? What faces do you see, or groups of people? Could be family members, could be people you see in the news, groups of people, neighbors. And as you stand or sit face to face with them with honor and respect, feeling that same clarity of the I and the we. Even with these individuals, that sense of interconnectedness and interdependence. And imagine as you are engaging from this perspective, creating that sense of the infinity symbol, feeling the flow that is established at all times between all beings, certainly all human beings and all beings. And imagine now that all human beings have that awareness of the inherent interconnectedness and interdependence of us all, regardless of whether we like it or not. And imagine each and every one of us finding peace in that, eventually getting to peace. And with this sense of peace in the hearts of every human being, let's take a deep breath. And with this sense of peace and the flow of interdependence, allow all human beings to flow into your heart as you bring your awareness back to those in this meditation circle, with an honor and a respect of our interconnectedness, commitment to share in this practice on a regular basis around the world. And with those in this meditation circle, let them flow into your heart as you bring your awareness back to your surroundings, anchoring all of this back into your immediate present moment, filling your surroundings with this awareness, allowing your surroundings to flow into your heart as you bring your awareness back to yourself. And taking a moment to honor all the different parts of you, regardless of the seeming disparity between them, feeling the peace in the interconnectedness and interdependence of all of your parts, flowing into your heart. And as a way to bring this practice to a close, first allow the benefits of this practice, the energy you've generated, flow into every cell of your body, energizing and enlivening you, flowing into your organs to bring healing and rejuvenation, flowing into your nervous system as a way of remembering this, the muscle memory of this practice and this awareness. Finally, allowing all of the energy of this practice you've done flow into your core like a battery, charging your battery to full so that you feel fully charged, energized, and resilient to meet any challenge of your day. As a way to close this practice, let's take one final breath in. Okay, slowly open your eyes. Look around the room, shake your body, stretch your body. Coming back to the present, coming back to the group. So we started with our motivation with the beautiful wise words of Cliff. We had a chance to practice. Now we have a few minutes, not a lot of, but just a few minutes to reflect. Does anybody want to share? Or Cliff, do you have anything to share, or the group to reflect anything that Cliff had said or that came up for you in the practice? Feel free to jump in.
I'm just appreciative for the group and for the space we've had together today.
Thank you, Cliff. Christine?
Well, one of the first things I learned from Joe was the power and effectiveness of using the word "and" instead of "but." 3 letters can make a big difference.
Yep, 3 letters. Thank you, Christine.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Golden.
As a non-binary person, I most definitely appreciate the bringing together of the polarities rather than the deepening of them, connecting them and the flow between them. So this is really validating and reinforcing. Thank you.
Thank you, Golden. Thank you.
Hi, this is Lisa in New Jersey, and I just wanted to give an appreciation to Cliff for sharing about his own personal experience of speaking as an expert, and also experiencing the better days and feeling more accomplished and less accomplished, and each day and each moment is an opportunity to practice, because I could really relate to that. So thank you.
Oh yeah, I want to plus 75 that.
Yeah, same here. Time for one more comment. Anybody else want to share?
I want to. I'm so excited. I'm worried I'm going to be rambling, but I live in Minneapolis, so the spaces I move in there are so different than here, and holding space here for generative conversation about things such as abolition and whatnot is very, very, very challenging because it's so ingrained, and especially like it's a very evangelical religious area, so it's just pervades every conversation. So I'm really grateful. Even Cliff, when you talked about the justice and the mercy, like embodying mercy looks and feels so different in these 2 spheres or 2 different places that I move between. And so I'm so grateful for this conversation today.
Thanks, Elisa. Okay, well, thank you all. Thank you, Cliff. I put Cliff's, one of Cliff's got like 1 million websites and things like that. So and I'm not exaggerating. So I put one there so you can learn more about Cliff, find out about his work and who he is. So certainly look up Kayser Ridge, Kayser Ridge. That's his beautiful retreat. See the wonderful pictures there. And as always, we started with our motivation. We did our practice. We had a chance to reflect. Let's dedicate that, dedicate all this energy that we've generated between us all, that it may go and be directed to those in need at this moment who just need that sense of finding the peace within what seemingly contradictions in their lives. And people who feel forced into polarities or binaries, may they find their peace and their power and their freedom. And may that help us all move to finding our own personal internal freedom in that process. And may all beings on this planet have enough fresh water to drink and food to eat. And may all governments and world leaders govern from a place of compassion and wisdom, as opposed to fear and greed. Okay, thank you all. Great to see you. See you again next week. And I'm going to say that I say every once in a while, if you know people, if you're thinking of people, I know some of you are on a regular basis letting people know about this. Let more people know about this and share what we're doing here. And if you have any requests or questions, always get in touch. You can always reach me at joe@westonnetwork.com. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Take care.
Thanks, Joe.
Bye. Yeah, thanks.